Coming up, Chancellor Folt is saying her goodbyes, but who will be taking her place?
The federal government is back open for now, but how did local organizations who rely on federal funding cope? And what will they do if there's another shutdown?
Nurturing both plants and minds, one farm is cultivating a new approach to mental health.
From the UNC School of Media and Journalism, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
One more day. Chancellor Carol Folt is wrapping up things here at Carolina. Good afternoon, I'm Brighton McConnell.
And I'm Peyton Walker. It's an early departure for Folt, and it leaves many at UNC asking, what's next? This morning, interim UNC President Bill Roper held an emergency session in the search for the university's new chancellor. He met with the faculty executive committee, but so far, we still don't know who will take Chancellor Folt's place.
Not everybody's going to be happy, but that's what it means to be a leader in challenging times.
When Roper met with the committee on Friday, he said he wanted to find an interim chancellor who is familiar with UNC and who is well known in North Carolina. He also said his pick would be someone trustworthy and open-minded. Faculty also had the chance to give input on what kind of person they'd like to see lead the university.
Roper also wanted to hear from students. He held a closed-door meeting with student leaders on Monday. Student body president Savannah Putnam attended the meeting and spoke with Carolina Week afterwards.
Students are ready for a change. We need some stability at the University of North Carolina, and we're looking forward, looking into the future for someone who will garner student support, garner student voice, and put faith back into the administration.
Roper says he wants to have an interim chancellor in place by Friday.
Silent Sam is a central character in the story of the chancellor's resignation. Folt announced she was stepping down and then immediately ordered the removal of the statue's base. But is this the end of the road for Silent Sam? Reporter Sydney Persing joins us live from McCorkle Place to tell us more. Sydney?
Peyton, we've been covering Silent Sam for years here at Carolina Week, and if you look behind me, this is the first report we've ever done where you won't see a single remnant left of the fallen statue. Now that, of course, coming just 2 weeks after Chancellor Folt announced she was resigning and ordered the university to remove the commemorative plaques and base left of the statue. I spoke with two students who had fairly separate takes on the issue. School is back in session and campus is as busy as ever. Coffee sales are booming in the student stores. Students are rushing to make their 8 a.m.s. But one part of campus is strikingly empty. Just 2 weeks ago, Chancellor Carol Folt announced her resignation and ordered the removal of the remnants of the controversial monument, Silent Sam. Calvin Deutschbein has been protesting against Silent Sam since coming to Carolina.
This is something that's needed to happen for some time. The stump had been a source of a lot of violence against students on campus. And I think that with the stump gone, it makes sense for the chancellor to go as well.
But not all students are welcoming the chancellor's decision.
She made the wrong choice with deciding to tear down Silent Sam after her resignation. I think that she feels now, because she's publicly announced her resignation, that she is above the law and doesn't have to listen to the Board of Governors or the North Carolina taxpayers anymore, and that's certainly not the case.
And while students all over campus are still reacting to Chancellor Folt's decisions, it's possible these reactions are premature.
Carol Folt's decision is not final. It's a strong decision. It will be hard to reverse it. But clearly, both the Board of Trustees of the Chapel Hill campus and the Board of Governors of the university system are continuing to have discussions about what's next.
But until those conversations come to a close, McCorkle Place remains empty. Now, it's important to note that despite the fact that the chancellor did go ahead and remove the remnants, she was expected to give a proposal to the Board of Governors on March 15th, where she'd propose a future plan for the statue. Chairman Smith of the BOG said that despite the chancellor's actions, they're still fully expecting that proposal on March 15th from whoever the acting chancellor is at that time. So to echo Professor Guillory's point, this is by no means a done deal. Peyton?
Sydney Persing live from McCorkle Place. Thanks, Sydney.
The chancellor's final days at Carolina have been full of goodbyes. Folt hosted a pizza party in the Student Union Tuesday. Hundreds of students showed up to get a chance to say farewell and to take selfies with the chancellor. The line stretched around the building and out the door. And the farewell messages are stretching into today as well. Students gathered at the South Building to say goodbye to the chancellor. That's where we find reporter Madison Forsey.
Students and reflecting back on her time here as chancellor at Carolina. This afternoon, it's the students' turn to show that same sense of gratitude. And right behind me, there's an event just getting started called Thank You, Carol Folt. Organizers will come by the steps of South Building this afternoon to sign cards and banners with their names and sincere notes as a gesture of gratitude for Folt's service to the school. There was a considerable amount of controversy over her resignation and ultimate removal from the job of chancellor. We spoke to some students who were happy about Folt leaving and someone new coming into the position. Despite this, organizers of the event said that they just want to take the last opportunity to thank Folt, who they believe truly bleeds Carolina blue. Now, tomorrow is Folt's last day on campus, and if you're interested in coming over and saying thanks, the event will be running until 5. In Chapel Hill, I'm Madison Forsey, Carolina Week.
Now, Folt had initially planned to leave after May commencement, but the Board of Governors asked her to step down by tomorrow.
Well, Carol Folt's resignation evoked lots of responses from current UNC students and alum. Many took to social media outlets like Facebook and Twitter to express their views, some very positive and some not so positive. I'm going to slide through just a couple of these to give you an idea. Caroline says, "I'm outraged to not walk alongside Chancellor Folt at my graduation in May." She describes Folt as a graceful and poised leader and thanks her for her service to the university. On a similar note, Allie wrote an article describing 10 reasons we'll miss Chancellor Folt. She commends her for being the first female chancellor at Carolina and for making an effort to get to know all students. Likewise, Angel sums up his sentiment in saying, "This one hurts. Thanks for everything, Chancellor Folt." So as you can see, many students were upset over her resignation. Some, like Sarah, though, did not have such positive reactions. She says Folt didn't have the guts to face the consequences of her actions and that she had no backbone when it came to the issue of Silent Sam. So definitely a controversial topic here. We'll keep you posted as news on Folt's replacement develops.
Coming up, it's a show of support for federal employees, how local businesses helped workers who weren't getting their paychecks during the partial shutdown.
It was the longest shutdown.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
It was the longest longest shutdown in U.S. history, 35 days.
But President Trump has signed a short-term spending plan to reopen the government for the next 3 weeks. During the partial shutdown, 800,000 government employees missed paychecks. Restaurant and bar Might As Well on Franklin Street offered free meals to those affected by the shutdown. Employees say workers who came in for meals appreciated the gesture.
And we think it's really important because, you know, in the community, we sort of need to watch out for one another, especially when they don't really have control over whether or not they're getting paid.
The president has set a February 15th deadline for a new federal government spending deal.
And as that February 15th deadline approaches, one Orange County nonprofit fears another shutdown could affect its community support programs. The 35-day government shutdown stalled federal funding to domestic violence survivor programs like the Orange County Rape Crisis Center, which offers therapy and support for victims of sexual violence. The center says it has enough community support to sustain it without federal funds for only a few months. But Development and Communications Director Gentry Hodnett says the threat of delayed funds has left many volunteers and employees feeling unsure about the future.
If that does happen again, you know, there are chances of staff being, you know, laid off for bits of time, and it would be heartbreaking because we're really trying to grow our programs.
The Orange County Rape Crisis Center has been serving the community for the past 45 years.
Duke University is facing criticism over a faculty email that urges students to only speak English on campus. Director of Graduate Studies in the Biostatistics Department at Duke University, Megan Neely, sent an email this week urging international students from China to commit to using English 100% of the time on campus. The email sparked national criticism and Neely stepped down from her position. The Dean of Duke's Medical School issued an apology to students. Emily Kian, who studies at both UNC and Duke, says the university needs to work to make the environment more inclusive.
For a university that takes in so many international students and has a lot of efforts to try and recruit minority students, they need to do a better job of fostering a more welcoming community.
Duke's Office for Institutional Equity is reviewing the incident.
The wheels are in motion to turn Chapel Hill into a more bicycle-friendly area. The Chapel Hill Town Council is looking to add a curb lane dedicated to keeping bikers off one of the town's busiest stretches of the road. The proposed plan would put the bike lane between Estes Drive and Eubanks Road. It would also include a 2.5-mile increase in the town's bike paths. The town says they hope to get approval to complete the project within the next 9 months.
If you've been to the bottom of Lenoir lately, you may have noticed a restaurant missing. Subway is out, making room for Fresh and Smoothie and Burrito Bowl. The two restaurants previously occupied the space that now has Merritt's. Subway restaurants are having a tough time nationwide. The company closed 500 of its U.S.
Turning to weather, Haley Bolin is out on the quad to tell us what current conditions are like and what to expect this week. Haley?
Certainly feels like it outside. With temperatures dipping into the teens this week, you're going to want to bundle up as you walk to class. Now, it is windy out here today. Gusts for today can get up to about 39 miles per hour, so be sure to be aware of that. Let's take a look at what the weather's going to look like for the rest of the week. Temperatures will dip slightly tomorrow for Thursday, and it will remain around the upper 40s to the lower 50s for the rest of the weekend. But hold on to a little bit of hope as temperatures will warm up into the 60s on Monday. So while you do need to wear your coat for now, know that milder temperatures are on the way. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Haley, thanks so much for that report.
Coming up, both men's and women's basketball teams seem to be in mid-season form. Carolina Week Sports after the break.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I am in or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Welcome to Carolina Sports Week. I'm Colleen Brown. Up first, Tar Heel basketball, of course. The surging men's team traveled to Atlanta on Tuesday to take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. After a slow start and more than a few turnovers, the Heels were up just 7 at the end of the first. But the team found another gear in the second half, at one point extending the lead to 30 after going on a 20-5 run. Watch here as Kobe White leads the charge, dropping a beautiful 3. He racked up 19 points and 8 assists. Cam Johnson nabbed a game-high 22 points. And get this, UNC shot nearly 50% from beyond the arc. Heels take the road win, 77-54. Carolina is now 16-4. On the women's side, senior guard Paris Key is the National Player of the Week by, count 'em, 4 different organizations. She dropped 30 points and 10 assists to clinch the upset on Notre Dame on Sunday. She also earned her first ACC Player of the Week award. Now, the team is riding high after pulling off that big upset. The Heels will face Georgia Tech at home tomorrow. The Heels are now 3-4 in ACC play, thanks to back-to-back wins against Virginia Tech and Notre Dame. Georgia Tech should be a decent matchup. The Jackets' stats are about equal to UNC's, but with a home court advantage and fresh off its #1 upset since 2006, the Heels should clinch the W. After a satisfying win against Duke this weekend, the men's tennis team looks ahead to the ITA National Team Indoor Championships. The undefeated Heels faced 2 matches before the ITA Championships, both on the road at Texas and Illinois. Now, these matches aren't must-wins because they're out of conference, but having momentum going into the championship is a bonus. And while the men look to clinch the ITA National Team Indoor title, The women are set to defend theirs. But first, the team will face Vanderbilt on the road this Saturday. Now, this is an important test. Vandy has also qualified for the championship and is ranked just one place higher than the Heels at number 2. If UNC can steal a road win against a strong opponent, the team will have some serious mojo heading into the championship. And just a fun fact for you guys, the women's team has won the ITA National Team Indoor title, count 'em, 3 times, in 2013, 2015, and last year. That's all for Carolina Week Sports.
Coming up, a new prescription for mental health, how one farm helps heal the mind.
I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school and I didn't do it. My support team never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew who I could become as a person. I've been given an opportunity and I'm just thankful for it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
It's a unique approach to healing the mind.
I visited one local farm that's providing opportunities to address some of the bigger health determinants like human-related behavior, housing, and social connectedness. Tava Mahadevan's life wasn't easy growing up.
I'm a refugee from a little island called Sri Lanka. I was homeless for about a year or so.
That's what led him to start a tiny homes community and help people like Jake Edwards.
So it'll be a lot cheaper. I think it would help with my finances and stuff. I'm on disability right now, but it would help with that.
Next fall, workers will build the tiny homes, each with a kitchen, living room, bedroom, and bathroom here at the farm at Penny Lane, a place Mahadevan established back in 2011 to help those with mental illnesses.
We see people with all different kinds of diagnoses, from schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, anxiety.
Organizers expect the homes to serve 15 to 20 people, which is a small number compared to the estimated 130,000 mentally ill individuals nationwide who experienced homelessness on a given night last year. People at the farm are determined to help in other ways too.
And they've planted some strawberries.
By offering activities like gardening to improve mental health.
It's just something about putting your hands in the soil and just working in the soil has some amazing therapeutic value for people.
The farm also offers cooking classes.
So we're trying to make sure that people understand healthy options, and it's realistic for somebody to be able to make at home.
And that's really what these recipes are about, ease.
Edwards is very grateful for the farm and to those who make it possible.
I am doing better now. I'm less symptomatic. I have less episodes and I feel better.
One reason for Edwards' progress, he says, is the community aspect here on the farm.
There'll be a community building that will have
something he'll get to experience a lot more if he lives right on the property.
There'll be a clubhouse, there'll be a pavilion. So we are building a community here where people can support each other's.
Wow, that's a really
Thank you. I loved getting to do it. It was so amazing to see people's lives be transformed there. And even to see people put their time in to help other people in their mental health is really impactful. So,
absolutely. Well, that does it for this edition of Carolina Week. Thanks so much for watching.
Good night.